So in this segment, we're going to be discussing a really surprising interview with Beth Rigby and Liam Neeson. And he's a particular set of skills, and one of those apparently is looking at British politics, especially in the context of Northern Ireland, and giving some cool answers. So let's have a listen.
Brexit and some of the tensions around post-Brexit trading in Northern Ireland, and some of the divisions that all caused or brought things to bubble up to the surface again. Do you ever think sort of UK politicians, our own politicians, have been responsible for stoking divisions?
Well, when you look at how the Tories have stoked up the DUP, especially how the ERG kind of used the DUP and the unionist movement against Theresa May and essentially causing lots of problems in Stormont, it's a fair question and it's an easy answer.
You're opening a big book there, I mean, 3-4 prime ministers in the past 3 years or something?
It's three. I think it might be four in the last 3 years, I think, depending on when Theresa May left.
I don't know where to begin with that one. I try and follow what's happening politically, and I'm from the north of Ireland, of course, very proud to be from there, because I think it gave me a work ethic too. Protestants and Catholics, there's a wonderful thing about Northern Irish people. They do have this wonderful work ethic, But on the world stage, when you see what's happening in Ukraine and stuff, and there's a politician talking about we have to get our sausages in from Britain into Belfast, it's like, oh, come on, seriously, is this where we're at?
He's right there. It kind of shows how trivial the stuff is around the protocol, in a sense of sausages and all this kind of nonsense. Because he's right, there is a war in Ukraine, and kind of shows you that different people are dealing with much different circumstances. You got members in the unionist movement and in the DUP kind of crying about, oh, we want our Cumberland sausages and all this stuff, and it's like, we're going to close our Stormont over this kind of nonsense. And you just grow up. Honestly, just grow up.
There are bigger things.
There's bigger things, but I know the sausages are important in a scheme of things, and it's being resolved.
Well, yeah, and hopefully the power sharing arrangement will get going again in Stormont, because it's important, isn't it?
They have to get back to work.
Yeah.
They're representing the people of the north of Ireland. Get back to work. You're drawing the salary still.
I guess that's the point, isn't it? That these are people, who are still being paid. The DUP is still being paid, and he talks about this work ethic that's kind of fostered in Northern Ireland. He says Catholic and Protestant, so it's he's talking about generally the vast majority of people in Northern Ireland are saying it kind of cuts across both kind of religious sects. And I think what he's saying, it's kind of funny. He talks in the context of his work ethic, where it comes from, and then he's telling people get back to work, actually do your job. And he's right about the DUP is you represent the people of Northern Ireland. That's what you're meant to be there for. You actually have democratic powers, amongst other things. Certain countries have to fight for that, and you're throwing it all away for Cumberland sausages and all this other kind of nonsense. An identity crisis that really isn't a crisis. But yeah, I found these answers kind of surprising, especially given he seemed a bit kind of like, when he's like, oh, you've opened a big book there, he's right, and that's just kind of the British history in Northern Ireland. That's just the history of kind of Ireland and Northern Ireland, really. When you think about it, that's just one part of British history in terms of the stuff this country's done to the rest of the world. But yeah, I found it quite interesting that she interviewed Liam Neeson about this stuff. I guess it makes sense that he's from, given he's from Northern Ireland, but, some people don't really follow politics that much, especially when, dude's a famous actor who's generally, I would assume, really busy, but he seems to keep himself informed of the situations in Northern Ireland. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.